How do you know if you've found the right person to hire and to bring onto your team, or if they're even truly talented? I'll say that time and time again, as I'm watching agents build their businesses, this is one of the biggest hurdles that people run into. Is the first step actually is getting clear about what you're looking for. So they're not exactly sure what they should be looking for. And that makes it even doubly hard to be sure if what they find is a match at all. So you've got to start with knowing what you're looking for. But then today we're going to talk about 5 ways that you'll know when you've found somebody that's truly talented. So I'm going to start with a little drawing for you. Of course, it's a drawing. It's Whiteboard Wednesday. All right. When we're looking at hiring somebody, there's this lovely little centerpiece that we want to have a person fit all 3 of these categories. So 1 is character, 2 is competence, and 3 is chemistry. And you need all 3 of these. So you want somebody to have good character, right? We don't want somebody unethical or shady on our team, or at least hopefully you're not looking for that. The second thing is competence. Do they have the ability to learn or already have the knowledge and skill in the area that you're looking for? And the third thing is chemistry. This is one that I think is actually pretty underrated, and I'll dive into that later. But somebody can have these 2 things, but if they don't jive well with your team, there's always going to be a little bit of disjointedness that makes it hard to really lock in and propel forward. Today, though, I'm going to be focusing on the competence piece, or the 5 ways that you know that somebody is truly competent and skilled, and we call them talent. They are talented people. Before I jump into those 5 ways, let me back up and sort of come back to where I started. The very first step that you need to do when you're hiring somebody is get crystal clear, or as clear as you can, about what you're looking for. So it seems basic, but a very clear job description. All administrative assistants are not the same. Their jobs aren't the same. The skill set that you're looking for aren't the same. And I'll use just one example. Do you need and or want somebody that can build systems? Or do you just need and or want somebody that can execute on them and kind of go down a checklist? Or do you need both? That's just one thing. Do you need somebody that can do marketing and do copywriting and write information for you? Or do you have somebody creative on the outside that you're, contracting on that basis, and maybe you need somebody that's really good at looking at numbers? There's a lot, even in that administrative assistant umbrella, there's a variety of skill sets. But if you're talking about bringing on agents, what specific skill sets do they need to have? What knowledge base do they need to have? Are you willing and able to train them in? And so you have a really crystal clear criteria that you're judging against. This way, when you hire an amazing person, they're either a great fit or not a great fit. They're not a good person or a bad person. They could be a great astronaut, but not a great assistant. They could be a great veterinarian, but not a great buyer's agent. It doesn't mean that they're good or bad. We need to judge somebody against a criteria. So that's step number 1. Once you have somebody that you're like, yep, they fit this criteria, they fit the job description, now you're looking for these 5 things that will help you to see if they're truly talented people. There's a difference between truly talented, try that, saying that 10 times fast, and somebody who can do the job and just do an okay job of doing the job. So number 1, talent pushes to get answers versus non-talent, where you're having to push them to get answers. So talent is pushing all the time to get answers and find solutions. They're digging in. In essence, to me, true talent in that way is somebody that grabs the bull by the horns. They're not looking up at you like a deer in headlights or a puppy, always looking for answers from you. They're going to take initiative to push to get answers. Number 2, they share goals and they fulfill the needs that you have naturally because they're in alignment with what you need. Seems basic, but when you hire somebody that's in alignment with that criteria at the beginning, the natural byproduct is that they're going to share those goals and be in fulfillment with where you're heading. So you link up and move forward together. The opposite side of that, or non-talent, would be somebody that's giving you back pieces of the job. Gosh, I hate crunching data. You know what? Never mind. I can't do this. Can you do this? Or you might end up having to take it back because it's just falling through the cracks and not getting done. Which, by the way, check yourself there. If you're getting back pieces of the job, pause for a second and ask yourself, am I grasping for control and taking it back before I'm giving them an opportunity to rise to the challenge and empower them? There's going to be a period of time where there's some shakiness as somebody's learning the new job and learning how to communicate with you. So I have a caveat to that one, that you don't want to get pieces of your job back, but ask if you're taking the job back from them unnecessarily. Okay, number 3, talent knows what they want and or they're actively seeking it, or searching for it. If they're not sure what they want, they're actively searching to find an answer for that. Non-talent is doing the opposite. They're not sure what they want. They don't care to look. They're just showing up and clocking in and saying, tell me what to do today. There's a big difference in those two kinds of people, as I'm saying it out loud. Number 4, and this is a big one, true talent is constantly pushing you. You will feel probably slightly irritated, almost like they're your boss. True talent is going to be pushing you to rise to the next level. And you'll feel that. You'll feel that when you have somebody truly talented on your team, that they're not settling for status quo because they want to grow too. They're only going to be able to grow to the level that you grow. Does this make sense? If they're pushing you and you're like, no, I want to stay here, they're going to outgrow your bubble or outgrow your world and then leave the team probably, or start their own, because true talent wants to continue to grow. So that's why you also should be seeking to grow. If you want to hire true talent, you guys grow together. Okay, number 5, true talent is constantly raising the bar and wants to be associated with talent. That's a big one. If you have people on your team that are not talent and they're dragging their feet and they're looking to you and others all the time for tell me what to do, the talent on your team is going to get irritated quickly. Which means you're going to have some tough decisions to make one way or the other. You can have a conversation with the non-talent and bring them back to what the expectations are. Here's the bar. If they don't jump and come up to where the bar is, then that's, I would say, a tough decision or a tough conversation that you need to have, or you risk losing this talented person. So true talent is going to be raising the bar. Non-talent doesn't even know that a bar exists or isn't sure where it is. That's a quick breakdown on those 5 things. Now, I'm going to say this quickly. Another big question that I get is, okay, I'm going to hire true talent. How much do I have to pay this person? And what in essence I hear realtors asking is, how little can I pay someone and not have them leave? And I would push against that and say that's the wrong question to be asking. We don't want to be asking, how stingy can I be to just keep someone hanging on by a thread? I think the question that's a better question to ask is, how much can I afford to pay so that I can keep them as long as possible? True talent, you hate to put money on talent, but it's a part of what it is. They're worth every penny, and even if they only stay a year or 2, because maybe they do outgrow your bubble, they're going to take your business to the next level without a doubt. And sometimes we're afraid of hiring talent because we're afraid of losing them. I'm going to pause on that one for a second, because I hear this a lot, and I think some people don't even realize that that's a fear inside of them. Sometimes we're afraid of losing talent because we're afraid we're going to lose them. Or maybe we're afraid they're going to take our secrets and leave. Guys, there are no secrets, especially now with social media, so let me burst that bubble first. They can find whatever they want somewhere else. When you're hiring, if you're afraid to hire somebody that's better than you, you have some internal work to do, because they're not you and they can't be as good as you are at the things that you're good at. But you are your ceiling to your business then if you're afraid to hire talent. It seems like basic stuff, but you should be looking for the best of the best and keep them as long as you can, and ask yourself, how much can I afford to pay them so that I can keep them as long as possible? And along those payment lines, we want to reward them and pay them according to how they're stacking up to the expectations. So we go back to that very beginning step again and look at that criteria. What did I hire them to do? How are they performing? And then do another self-check and ask, am I holding them accountable, and did I provide them training? That's another big hurdle that I see with people, or snag that people run into. People hire people and they get frustrated because somebody's not performing, but that person might not have ever had any access to training or any expectations laid out or any clear criteria. If you've hired someone and you gave them just a stack of paper and said, go, if they're really, really talented, they'll figure it out. Also know that you have not set them up for success, in my opinion. So there's a lot there. Let's start with that competence, look at that criteria in the beginning, and then you can start stacking up and seeing if who you've hired is talent. Shoot me a DM, as always, if you'd like to sit down on a consultation for any of this. This is my favorite part, is helping you guys build this business this way. In the meantime, have an awesome rest of the week.